Hello, welcome to CS1400 and our drill system. I'm going to give you a brief introduction into it. It's called codegrinder, but first we need to log in to the Canvas system. You do that by going to canvas.dixie.edu, and once you get to the login screen there, you'll see that's right here at Dixie State. You'll need to put in your Dixie ID account, which is a D followed by 8 digits. That's including the leading zeros if you have any in your student ID number, followed by your password that goes with your Dixie login. Once you've logged into that, you'll see the standard Canvas screen here, and you'll want to go up to courses, and in your courses list find CS1400. Now, I'm not a student in CS1400, so it's not showing up in my list. So I'm going to actually take you to a different system where I can behave as if I'm actually a student. So I'll pause for just a second here. Okay, so in this system I'm actually a student in a course called CS1400, and this will look pretty much and behave like it will for you when you're in Dixie's Canvas system. I can remember my password. I did. That's great. So you'll go to your course list and you'll find CS1400. And then across the left over here, you'll see the different activities you can do for this class. I'm interested in doing a drill, which is part of the assignment section. So I'll click on assignments, and you'll see here there's several assignments listed. The one that I'm working on today is the first drill set that is due in CS1400 called expressions. So I'll click on expressions here. It'll take me to the next screen. Now all this screen does is tells us that if we click on this button, that codegrinder will launch and will start up in a new tab for us. Now we call this codegrinder because we're trying to get you to, just like you would do in a video game, we're trying to get you to go up the levels of your skill, and instead of being your skill level in something like Zelda, this is your skill level in programming. So you're going to grind up to the levels, and we're going to start off now in codegrinder. You'll see the screen on the left here is your instructions screen that tells you what it is we're asking you to do with this particular exercise. You'll see this is exercise 1 of 10. In this exercise, you're supposed to write an expression that calculates the result of adding 4 and 8, which, as you know, is 4 plus 8. Now, where you're supposed to actually accomplish that task, it should be in the right section over here, which is your editor. You'll see that we're working on expression 4.8, and expression 4.8 is right here in this tab, and in order to write my expression I need to go inside that function right after the return statement and say 4 plus 8, which is the expression I want to write. If that's what I want to test, now I can ask codegrinder to grade my work. I'll go down to the button down here, the nice green go button, grade, and click on it, and then codegrinder will give me a response. You saw that there was some text that showed up here. We don't worry about that right now, but the most important part is this green bar down here. We were successful. All of the tests that were ran against that code passed, and so we can continue on to the next step. Let's do another exercise here. This is expression 3.7. We make sure we're in expression 3.7 for our tab over here. Notice that this is exercise 2 of 10. And in this case, we're supposed to write an expression that calculates the result of multiplying 3 and 7. Well, how would I write 3 times 7? You're thinking to yourself, you know it, 3 asterisk 7, right? And where would I put that in the codegrinder interface? You're saying to yourself, over there in the editor place. Alright, we'll go over there in the editor, and we're making sure we're in the correct tab for expression 3.7. Tab matches the assignment, and we'll type in 3 times 7. And then I'm going to ask you, how do I grade it? And you're going to say down there on the green grade button. I click it. We let codegrinder test our code to see if it worked correctly. Codegrinder says, you did it. It's all green down here. So we'll continue to the next step. That's right, step 3 of 10. And now we're going to be working on expression 8.2. If you look over here, expression 8.2 is over on this tab, so I'll click on the tab to find it. And we're supposed to calculate the result of 8 divided by 2. Where would I put it? That's right after the return statement. and I'll type in my answer. Now you're going to get all worked up because I did plus instead of divide, I hope. So I'm going to demonstrate to you what happens when you don't do the correct thing. When you ask CodeGrinder to grade, CodeGrinder will come back with a red error bar down here to let you know that there was a mistake. I'll say thank you for letting me know there was a mistake. And this box here will actually contain for you some of the error messages that came back from CodeGrinder. And in this case, we see that we returned a 10, but we should have returned 4. Well, 8 plus 2 is 10. 8 divided by 2 is 4. That's why we have the wrong answer. Now, no problem. I'm not penalized for trying and getting it wrong. We'll just try and get it right this time. Do 8 divided by 2 and hit the grade button. And this time we can continue on to the next step because we got it right. I am going to now, instead of going through all 10 of these with you, I'm going to fast forward to the last exercise. So I'll be back in just a second. Alright, welcome back. So here we are. We're now on exercise 10 of 10, the last exercise in this set of drills. And we're working on combo expression number 6, in which case we're supposed to write an expression that calculates 7 times 7 minus 5, which I hope you know how to write that expression. What we're dealing with right now is CodeGrinder. Because we're on the 10th exercise, it's opened up 10 different files that correspond to the 10 files we've been working on. And it's a little bit hard for me to see where is combo expression 06. So what I'm going to do is come over to the files option over here on the left, and I want combo expression 06. I'll click on it, and you'll notice that CodeGrinder then in the editor section opened me up to the tab that has the correct code in it that I want. I'm going to go a step further than that, and I'm going to actually close the tabs that aren't the tab that I want to be working on, just to make the interface a little bit more pleasing here to the eye. So there I am. I've got only the file that I want to work on. Next, I'm going to go back to the instructions so I can remember what it is I have to do. You'll notice the instructions button over here on the left. Click that. Instructions are displayed again. And now I'm supposed to write 7 times 7 minus 5. So I write that code, go down to the grading option, click grade, and we successfully passed the 10th and final exercise here. I'm going to continue to the next step, at which point CodeGrinder is going to ask me to fill out a little survey so that it can get feedback on how effective this assignment was. Invite you to take just a few seconds and answer those questions quickly. That'll help us see if there's problems or trends within the drills and exercises we've provided for you. Alright, when I'm all done, you're going to fill those out correctly, I'm sure. Submit the survey and say we're done. At this point, I can go back to my dashboard, back to Canvas, and if I look at the assignment list, we'll see that I actually finished it. I've got 1 out of 1 points. If I hadn't actually finished it, I could click on it and load it up, and when I did, CodeGrinder would take me back to the same point I was, so my work isn't lost. In this case, I'm finished, so it takes me back to the end, and the end says fill out the survey. Don't fill it out more than once unless you really think you want to. Alright, thanks. I hope you enjoy learning how to program with CodeGrinder. If you have any issues, please contact your instructor so we can get things working for you. Thanks a lot.